Lunchtime, right? Okay. Let's check and make sure. Got my microphone on. So didn't do last night, partially because had some stuff come up. It was like, hey, but make sure I still say I was gonna do a show. So do what I said I was gonna do, right? Little Ralph Trash van and stuff in there. So appreciate y'all. Y'all know for lunch. I don't hold you long. Just long enough for us to have a little good time. FAMU versus Alabama A&M. Might be some funsies. Also, got that FAMU basketball out there doing some stuff. So, little baby, FAMU football. And got a good question about, from one of our favorites or my favorite podcasters, Money Jones. And question is all money good money? Let's see. I know it's about to be Fangs up for lunch.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does! And that might be the knockout punch.
All right, greetings and salutations. Sorry, look, it was lunchtime. Couldn't have y'all, see me eating lunch largely because it was definitely chicken. Y'all know I don't eat chicken in mixed company. It's just me. Some things I only eat around the kin folks. uh Chicken is at the top of that line. So, but I got my earned soda to wash it down. So y'all ain't by yourselves. What's up, JT? Hopefully everybody's doing well. Again, we moved the show from last night just because had something come up. So want to make sure I was there for that. Try to be present when I can be present for stuff. And when I can't, it kind of is what it is. What's up, Mary 305? So a little quick lunch session. So, it is lunchtime. Hopefully you found your favorite meal to be scrumptious. So there we go. All right. So, but first thing, Rattler Boosters, steady doing some work. If y'all don't know, the new fiscal year is kicked in for the Rattler Boosters and the National Alumni Association. So go ahead, get ready for those type things. Also, they are doing the golf tournament and the luncheon. So luncheon is going to be in less than a month. So get your tickets. Got some questions that are related back to that. So that's on Saturday, 23rd. And then the golf tournament, August the 9th. So I'm not gonna make either one of those. Already booked up. So hey, I'm not mad at it, depending on where you at, that's how I go, little baby. And I ain't gonna lie, look, I can eat breakfast any time of the day. I'm good for like probably once, twice a month, letting the wife know, hey, we're gonna have breakfast for dinner. Bacon, eggs, grits. I let her do her thing with the pancakes. She better at me than that. So, but y'all hadn't seen. Look, first I didn't even get this yet, but did y'all see Charlie Ward step down from TCC being on their Tallahassee State College? He was on like their pretty much like the board of directors type vibe position. So that was something interesting to see. I don't know. I ain't gonna get too political with that kind of stuff, but that was very interesting, and we definitely see some changes already. Brother Sowell stepped down from being up there at FAMU, which that was interesting. Again, we're gonna see what happens with this new administration in about 6 to 7 days. But getting back to sports, look, got a basketball offer. Yo, that's right now. Probably the thing we're gonna give him 6'5". I believe it's Yo Hardy though, but 6'5" from Miles Community College. He's from Florida though, so I'm cool with it. I like it, Charlie Ward. I like what he's offering though. Like as far as potential, I'm seeing a lot of guards, a lot of forwards. Would like to see another center or two, but everybody ain't 7 foot tall. But I do like the fact that looks like we're getting some pretty talented guys that are getting offered. and especially at some of the more important positions, I think obviously you do need, you need your centers, but we've seen increasingly basketball has become a game where your position matters less and less, and more it's just about you got skill and you have height. And if you got a team full of forwards that can play like guards, I think you might have something. Also, Christopher Washington, he's listed between 6'7" and 6'9", depending on who you talk to. But he's a guard forward. I told y'all, look at Charlie. He's recruiting players that can play both. So I think that's pretty interesting. But this guy's from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. That's where Middle Tennessee State is. He's 2026 kid. So, okay. So far, though, I will say when it comes to what I'm seeing from the basketball team, it looks like most of the players and positions that are being offered are multifaceted. That's what I was looking for. So you're looking for guys that are really able to play almost 1 through 4. I mean, that's what I'm seeing a lot of. I'm not saying 1 through 5, but because that's a rarity, just to be able to play center all the way to guard. But okay, I'm here for it. Also, I do like looking at that football team these years, real recent. Look, I knew I was old when I saw kids that I worked with when I was in college having kids. I was like, ooh, dang. I remember when you were in like 2nd, 3rd grade, how you got kids. That's crazy. Anyways, let's not extend these gray hairs more than they are. We did offer a tight end, Elijah Boyd, 6'4", another one, 250, 240. He previously played at UTEP, and now he's in transfer portal of Bowling Green. So, all right, I'm interested to see how this is going to work. I'm also interested to see how the NCAA is going to adjust some of their rules. We've seen where the leader of the country is involving himself in NIL. I don't know why, but that's his business. So now the other one though, got an offer. I ain't gonna lie, I love the name of the school because I'm just petty. But Dylan Tab, 6'5", 285 from Keith High School. Look, already, it's one of my favorite high schools already. He's a 2026 guy, offensive line. He also plays DN, but again, he one of the ones where how much he weighs, one say 285, another say 250. That picture look like 285. So I'm gonna go there. So I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave it at that. And we got a commitment. Cozy flipped a kid, or did Willie give us a kid? So Jordan Davis was previously committed to FIU, and I think about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, was offered by FAMU, and he's committed to FAMU. So that's going to be interesting. I wonder with that relationship, how do we exploit that? Like having a relationship with Willie Simmons, how does that work? Just as far as players going up and down to some of our players who, may have done this and done that and maybe have exceeded what their value, maybe go to FIU and do the players who really I like them, but I don't know if I got space. Let me call FAMU. Like, that's where I'm at with it. Like, because I've said it. I've heard Dr. Cavill say it. We're seeing a time where smaller schools are being treated more and more like minor league programs. So, and we're seeing where I believe I saw somewhere where Division II schools are getting to give kids 5 years. Like, we definitely are going to see some things. And I'm with JT. Business is business. I think going forward, though, it's going to be interesting to see if we get some new transfer rules. I'm not going to say I'm against it. I definitely feel like you should get one free pass, and then after that, transfer-wise, you start looking at different circumstances. Like, okay, why did you transfer? Did the coach leave? All right, that's different. Just because you want to you want to create continuity, not just for the coaches, but for the fans. Like at a certain point, I got to know who's on the roster to cheer for the team. Like I don't follow college basketball like when I was a kid because the roster changes so much. It's kind of like I'm just cheering for the jersey more than I am the actual players and following their stories. So, but I think even with that though, you got to put some on them coaches too though. Like if the coaches can leave willy-nilly, like all of us can for a job, I think that's where you start getting into the scrutiny of, okay, these players, if they're going to be pseudo paid, however that works with this new executive order that just came out from the president, that's got to play a factor in there because we can't fake like they're amateurs. They're not. Like they're signing contracts. They're getting paid one way or another. We got to just be honest about what this is. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes forward, though. Now, the next game of the season that I missed, or that would be next, if y'all follow, we kind of go in order. You know, ugh. Quick recap: I got us winning the OVC. I got us losing the FAU. I got us beating the fool out of Albany State. I got us beating Valley nicely. I got a close loss to North Carolina Central, but I reserve the right to change that if I see who the quarterback is. I got us winning homecoming. I got us winning at Southern. Same score. I didn't even realize that. And then Jackson State, like I said, I reserve the right to change that. I got to see what our quarterback looked like. And then I got us going to UAPB and beating the fool out of them. So Alabama A&M. It's one of them games where really looking at stats don't matter because they changed coaches. Look, I hope not. I think we should win that game. I talk like y'all, like you see, little baby. I just need to know who the quarterback is. If I see a quarterback, we winning everything. Like, don't give me hope. I'm one of those people. Like you can't give just the slightest bit of hope. Like, because once you do, it's over. And what's up, Mike Road Dog? Look, if y'all did not see, just looking out. Mike's already looking out for you. Go check out the website. We'll post it on our socials. We'll get y'all right. We're gonna have it right for you. But Mike's just looking out again. He be doing what he do. So, see what you do with a 9-3 record. I like that. I could live with that. Yeah. Now for the Alabama A&M game, I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. I think we're gonna win. Like, consternation. No, this ruined a surprise. I think you win it. Partially because I think by that time they've got a good coach, but they still got to figure out the system. And I think some of it's Jimmy and Joe's. Like I'm just saying, I'm seeing that we're smaller overall. Do you think that's true? Depending on the position. I think it's going to be interesting. I'll say that. Like, it depends on the position, though. Receiver-wise, I think size-wise, you're about the same. Quarterback, you're larger, but that's not, like, saying anything. Like, Daniel Richardson was not the tallest quarterback, and he was the best that we had, on the roster. So, probably best in SWAC. Running back-wise, that's going to be interesting. Like, but I think offensive line-wise, I don't know. That offensive line look good. And this is why I really feel like you should beat Alabama A&M. Just because I think when we start looking position for position, I don't know if their coaches had enough time to bring in his guys to flip the roster. And I think that's where, for this game, it's won because of the roster flipping. Because you've had Colsley, who's in year 2 of flipping a roster, and even within year 2 of flipping his roster, some of the guys he's brought in are better than what he had. I'll say it like that. I think you lost a lot. You lost the ceiling of your roster last year. You lost Kendall Bowler. You lost Daniel Richardson. You lost a receiver, Quan Lee. But other than that, I think it's pretty even. Like I think the tight end room, I would say the tight end room is a setback, but you didn't use it right. Like I don't feel like we used Jeremiah Pruitt right. That's just me personally. Like I agree with you on that one. Jay, I don't disagree at all. I think the biggest factor of this might be the weather. Like, is it cold? That might be a factor. But otherwise, I could see this becoming a game that, depending on where they're at, and depending on how much you need it, as far as how the other games went, just saying, at 9-3, we're gonna submit a real bid this year to host a playoff. No, no, I don't, I don't think so at all. Like, I don't think you submit a real playoff bid because it don't make business sense. And I don't think with the leadership you have, I don't know though. I don't know though. Because, okay, so to answer Mike's question, it depends. Who, how much how much are the people that are supporting our president and guiding our president? How big are they into athletics? If it's who we are told that the street committee is saying, I think they're gonna hold tight on the purse strings unless it's something that's like a guaranteed moneymaker. But if it's something that you're hosting the playoffs, but it's gonna cost you some money and you're not gonna recruit the funds, I don't see it. So that's just me. 50? Ooh, that's tough. I don't know if I see us scoring 50. Because I will say though, Alabama A&M did lose their best lineman. I'm gonna be good today. But Carson Vincent, my sayings, that's as bad as I'm gonna be with y'all. They lost their best lineman. Did they replace somebody at that level? That's a question. Carson was a really good player. Obviously he got drafted. So did they replace somebody at that caliber? Also, where's their offense? Like, you getting a really good coach though. Like, they got a really good coach, but are you gonna be able to overcome 35? I like that. I'll say for me, if you're gonna give me right now, not knowing what FAMU has a quarterback, but also knowing that Alabama A&M's somewhat new offensive line, by this time they should have gelled. This is like the next to last game for us, near the end of the season for them. How much does Magic City Classic outcome play into this game? I like that 35. I think I'm gonna steal your number, Jay. We're gonna go 35. I think 35-20 is a fair number. They normally put up a decent fight, but I think we just got more dogs than they do. I think when you're talking about that FAMU Alabama A&M game, especially the last couple games, honestly, you just got more. Like, you have more weapons in the arsenal than they do, and I think this is where we're going to start to see the separation between FAMU, Jackson State, Alabama A&M, Alabama State Southern, maybe PV. It depends what Grambling does as far as funding players. Like, I don't know if y'all caught the Alabama A&M part or for SWAC Media Day, where their coach was like, we got this many on roster, we got this many that we're going to pay for. And some of this is coming down to the economics of it. And what schools are going to say football is worth spending this kind of money on a roster versus the schools that are like, it's just fun to play. Like, we enjoy homecoming. That's a big money maker. We enjoy playing these games. We ain't gonna win no championships. There's got to be a Vanderbilt in every conference, right? Like, you got to have a Vanderbilt. You got to have a Wake Forest. You got to have a Kentucky. You got to have a school that says, we like football. Our fans enjoy it. It's a nice little cash cow. But this ain't going to be our bell cow that we're going to win championships in. You got to have those schools that make that decision. Like, every school has it in their conference. I mean, You go from the ACC to the SEC to whatever. Very few schools are great at every sport. And I think as we go forward, the goal is to be great in every sport. But some schools, especially in this new day of funding college football, are just not going to be able to be good. And you're just showing up. It's okay. Like, collect the check. But everybody can't be good at football. Sorry. That's just life. Somebody got to be mid. And somebody got to suck. What's up, B-Starks? Let's say a FAMU playoff game is a no-brainer moneymaker. Even if the NCAA takes their cut of the net, the fact that we're playing. Is it though? Remember the problem? When we did that before, the problem was the money you put down on the bid. Like, I feel like that was one of the bigger issues because you had to pay out that and then you got your money back. So was it Mike? That's a good question. I have to go back and check, but I feel like when it was stated before, the reason that we kind of were like, all right, we're gonna put in for this bid because they were getting millions for the bids and the schools are making nothing back. Because remember, City of Tallahassee put in on that last time. Like, the City of Tallahassee chipped in and we ain't getting nothing. So I think by this point in the season, though, you're either competing for the SWAC championship or you're not. If you can get into the playoffs, I think that's a benefit because this is just me personally. I feel like backing into playing in the playoffs is better. It looks better as a program. Like, I think one of the things, and I've heard Kelvin and others start to say, is you want to see us diversify some of the schools we play. We need that. We need the gate. Like, we need y'all to come show up. They need us to show up. But we also want to show that outside of our conference, we can still win. And I think that's not always something we've seen. I think sometimes we've seen where we can beat our other schools, but that's what I'm saying, little baby. Go back and check what the NCAAs was charging them folks to host playoffs. It was a nice little fee. It was after you did day fee, after you got your little cut. It wasn't a lot. I think some of that does also come with the fact that, and we've said this before, you got to modernize Bragg. You got to monetize Bragg. I'm not going to go too deep into it because I definitely have before, but you got to find new ways to make more money at that stadium. And it can't just be increasing capacity. Some of it's got to be improving some of the product, and some of that, you got to figure out what you're going to do with your athletic director. Like, you as a university, I understand new president comes in about 6-7 days. Hey, you got to make, if I'm you, just let it ride. Just let it ride. Let Angela come in. She was doing something cool. Let it work. Fix it. Keep it pushing. Bygones be bygones. And little baby, you're right. Sell merch at the games. I mean, you've seen what other schools do. Other schools have team stores at the game. Normally, it's not a little table where they're selling stuff. They actually have a team store. Just saying, it seems like to me, I said it once, I'll say it one last time before I get off of that topic. Move the bookstores to the stadium. It makes a whole lot of sense. I'm just saying. I'm just leave that there. We need to have a $300,000 contingency plan in place in case we fall short. And just $30, you can tell me at least 10,000 rattlers will pay them. I like that. I love it. And that's what I've been saying, little baby. Look around, copy and paste. I mean, every school don't have it. Like, you go to UCF, they don't, but their football stadium, it's kind of mid. Like, not to be mean, like their luxury box situation though is actually pretty nice. Like, they have like a multi-tiered luxury box, which is pretty cool. Like, they have a little area where, and you can see that they took ideas from other people. Like, some of the stuff FAMU used to have, they have. So I don't know if y'all remember, we used to have that kind of gated area, and it's like a patio space. UCF has that, but it's under the stadium. But then, so you can go down there, you can get beers and everything, and it's straight. It's really cool. And then you can go into their actual press box, which I hadn't done that part of the press box. But yeah. Now, the question is all money good money? Before we get up out of here. Again, it's lunch. I know what's up. Y'all ain't got a lot of time. Open question. Now, we do know the McDonald's man came on and did his voting, and he voted for Marva. Okay. All right. What's done is done. I can't stay mad at what happened in the past for too long. Can is not the right word. I won't. Now, for a while, though, this man that gave money to FAMU. Like, he's new to being on, like, that side of the process, but he ain't new to, like, giving to FAMU. McDonald's been giving money to FAMU for a mighty long time, and he normally makes a nice donation to organizations, mainly like the boosters. He dropped a nice little $10,000 check off. You know, he's giving over $100,000 to FAMU, right? I'm just saying, when we're seeing these days and times, I get y'all don't like him. I ain't going to McDonald's Tallahassee no time soon. I'm sorry. But I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. Like, nah, I'm good, bro. But if you want to make some peace, stroke another check. So my question to you is, all money ain't good money. But if it's money that you've been getting because you had a pre-existing relationship, is it now all of a sudden bad money because he voted for a person to become the new president that most of our constituents don't like? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying it's good money or bad money, but I'm just asking a question. Like, look, his dad and his company, because McDonald's ain't been missing no checks. I'm just saying. And look, they can get some one of kind jerseys, something limited edition. I agree. But if you've been dealing with this person, right, for 10, 20 years, right, and they've been giving money, is it bad money or is it worth turning down now that they made a decision that you didn't like? It's an interesting question for me, just because, hey, what's up, Marvin? Look, that's why if you look at the bottom of the thing, it says some good trouble. Because I'll be honest with y'all, Marva's still making her donations to her peoples. I hate to tell y'all, she's still supporting the same black causes she supported before. I could attest, she's still supporting them. Like, one of them things came in kind of late, but I was like, I see you, Marva. Appreciate it. Look. Yeah. Yeah, I heard about that. That ain't McDonald's orange. That's Chex orange right now. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if she's gonna be the president, we gotta exploit those relationships. Like, because that's what you sold me. Like, and look, EA, you saw the thing. I had the little thing up there, the video, people walking over Silver. You know, it was a subtle, but I'm just saying, I didn't like the playing on my top and telling half the story of the other president who's receiving a crazy large salary while others are small populations. I didn't like that part either. Again, don't tell me how much you're paying the president at UF when you're not funding FAMU the way you funding UF, and when FAMU doesn't have the student population that UF does. I've been to UF many a time. It's not the same. Like, I'm just saying, he offered the boosters an insult of only $10K. That's worse than NBC, except than 300 from Target. 10K. It's hey, you know what? I'm not mad at it being an insult. Isn't that about what he offer every year though? I'm just saying. So I ain't mad at that, Mike. I ain't mad at that. And that's why I offered the question. I know he offered 10K from what I've been told. Is it bad money because of who offered it? Or is it bad money because of the volume? Because I can see something as a $40,000, $50,000 product. But I also see where you got 300 members. it's just it's $100 to be a member. I'm just saying, like your board positions are bringing in that. Like your board of directors for the Rattler Boosters, they're contributing that amount as a collective. But is the rest of the organization bringing in 10K? I can tell you right now, Keith ain't bringing no 10K. I can tell you right now, keep bringing it. I got 100. I got $100. That's all I got right now for you. Matter of fact, you're gonna have to wait on that for about 2-3 weeks. School just about started. I ain't got it. So if he's offering the 10, do you take the 10? Because this is my thinking, and it's my only question. If he's offering 10, is he gonna come back and offer you more? Or is he just gonna not offer you any more at all? That's where my question is. Because if we're already saying, hey, we need these kind of funds, okay. I don't disagree that 10K don't fix your problems, but an organization that really needs to get to having 1,000 members, we got 300 members. 10K is different between you keeping and losing some of your student athletes. I'm just saying. I ain't telling you what somebody told me. I'm telling you what I just witnessed, right? Like we just lost a student athlete. And that's exactly how much we were trying to raise. So I think in that, some of the things I will say about this going forward, though. Because again, I told y'all it'll be a little bit of good trouble. And I ain't got too long. I ain't gonna hold you for long. One of the things we have to do with Rattler Boosters, we got to stay young. We need the old, because I need your experience. I need your expertise. I need your knowledge. I need your history. I need guys like Tommy Mitchell telling me what they did in the past. I need that cool, calm Selvin Cobb. I need Hattie, Alexander. I need those people to come through and share what they did, share how they fixed the bylaws. Need some damn bylaws to be finished. But I need those. I need y'all in that retirement age that have that extra time, because guess what? In a week when school start, I can't do this. I can't do this on a Friday. Why? I'm at work. But for our retirees that have the extra time, that have that disposable income, we need you there just as much as we need these young hands that, hey, I need a Canva, this, that made up. Okay, cool. Give me this amount of time. I got it sent, done. I need both sides of the spectrum. And we also need those relationships. Like some of these OG Rattlers got relationships to some of these other companies that we ain't got. Like, I'm just saying, I would bet that most Rattler Boosters are life members. How much do they give in FSU as well as A? And I have my own bone to pick about that life membership, because it's a beautiful situation if you're going to pay it. Because you pay life membership with Rattler Boosters, you never have to pay again. Nothing. Like, it's just, and Kurt Dawkins. So track athlete. He was a student, and he was working hard. But if somebody's gonna offer you a little bit more and allow you to also be in a little bit more comfort, it makes a difference. Like kids working at Mets and as student athlete, which at a certain point you can't do both. So like I'll keep my eye on everyone who cut a deal and making notes. Please do. Because again, that's what you sold us on, right? You didn't sell us on there was no academic expertise to sell us X, Y, Z, and the third, however you feel about that. What you said was this person, because of their business relationships, was going to be able to work us some deals. I'm just saying, it got to be better in the last 90 days, right? Yeah, that was a swipe at a certain person. 90 days, 90 deals. Ain't seen that. And it's got to be something where, because you've also put yourself in a situation where your success is tied to metrics and data that you're going to be held up against. And very likely, even if you redraw and redistrict some things, as we're seeing Florida's trying to do it in line with other folks, there's a good chance you still gonna be held accountable. Like, like let's just win all the Olympic revenue sports. Get Marvel to use her money connections. Somebody make it happen. Just saying. You're not wrong, Mike. You're not wrong. Like, I think some of our failings within a lot of our organizations, like we are not learning how to dig into that young demographic. And we have a young demographic that is more comfortable, honestly, being by themselves. Like you have a young demographic where they don't go outside as much. Or so now, I'm just saying, Kurt Dawkins, yeah, that buddy won a SWAC championship and was hustling during the school year. Like, buddy was working. Like, he left. There's a reason you've heard no one that covers FAMU fuss about it, because it's like, nah, do I understand? Like, that your school's not really getting paid for it. You are getting no grants because you're not a U.S. citizen. You're getting no loans. You literally just doing this out of pocket. Like, just saying. And still, I'm digging through files in 10 years, for the past 10 years, looking deep in Manga folder. Look, man, look, y'all still mad about that lady about getting her hair done. But honestly, if we're going to look at and projecting the future success for these groups and these organizations, you do have to get younger. It's got to be more exciting. And it's got to be something where we have to stop having these organizations, and not just our DSOs, but some of our other organizations. Wait till you cross the stage and all of a sudden you're going to become a member of this. No, if there's no connection, I'm not going. Like, we've got to get to a point where we have student boosters. We know that. But you know what we might have to do as an organization? Get to a point where we start getting with these sophomores and juniors and seniors and start, working with these kids. But hey, when you come in, hey, come to the booster event. Start inviting them to some of the booster events, because if they start coming out, if they start feeling included, all of a sudden that makes a difference. And you don't have to invite the whole freshman class, but start by picking some of the SGA kids and picking some of this kid and start working with some of these students and saying, hey, we want y'all to come over to the boosters, come talk to us, come spend time with us, because all of a sudden it becomes a reciprocal process, because now you're getting a little young blood in there, a little young infusion, but you're also getting that exchange of, oh, that's Miss da over there. She from here. My mama know this person. And all of a sudden, we start building our organizations because there is the familial bond. Like, it's just, it has to be a piece of that, right? Like, because all of a sudden, if you build that relationship when they're young, good book says train a child up when they're young, when they're old, they will not depart from it, right? Some of that is you have to impart that family spirit into them. You have to tell them, hey, this is how we do. But you also got to show them. You got to invite them, make them feel welcome. And then you may have to, hey, it's $10. Come on over and talk to somebody. Let's get you in. Rattler boosters. Hey, can we spare $10? Can we spare $100 on these 10 kids? Because it sounds crazy and it sounds stupid. But if you can get, is we're saying 1,000 rattlers to give $30, right? If we can get 20 rattlers to give 10, it's not a lot of money. But what that is that's a new foundation of members for the organization. They get involved, they start doing some stuff, and all of a sudden they have collective buy-in. You might sponsor them once, you might sponsor them twice. And if you want to really be froggy about it, choose seniors, choose sophomores or juniors and seniors, get them involved. Hey, y'all Rattler boosters, we got y'all some sponsors. Get some old people like me, like, hey, can you spare $20 for 2 kids? I got $20 for 2 kids. They come to the events, they get involved, they get connected. All of a sudden, the student boosters aren't just throwing money at something that they have no connection with. They're actually getting involved with something. And then when they get older, they come back. Oh, you a booster? Why? Well, when I was in college, brother da, or Mr. This the guy, or Mrs. Lady paid for me my senior year. And, hey, I came to the booster stuff. They treated me well. When I graduated, I never forgot it. Just saying. Would you also pay at least $1,000 a year plus season tickets to be multi-tier end zone and sit on the sideline seats? Would I do it? No. But again, I'm a football purist, Mike. So for me, when it comes to the luxury experience, I don't need it as much. I would, but on the other side of that, I paid $1,000. What equates to $1,000 for season tickets, like for the Bucks. So, and it didn't come with all that. It was pretty much a seat. The Bucks, it's the NFL. I think you would get a good amount though that would pay that, and that would, hey, you have these kind of seats, and especially if you address those ADA needs. So now you're starting to reach out to where your senior rattlers who maybe can't get up and down those stairs can get into this area, and it's accessibility. Then it also air conditioned and those kind of things, because those are some of the things you think about. Like when we're talking about our local community, you got a lot of rattlers, 60s, 70s, climbing them stadium steps. Like, you get to a point where they can't do that. Let's just be honest. So I think if you have something like that, I think that's great, because that fixes multiple problems, especially, your groups that are probably a little more seasoned. They get a little, comfortable space. But even for your people with young families, like I got a family of 4, that's 4 racks. But if it's something where all 4 of us go to the game, the kids get to have some fun, I get to watch the game, and my wife's in the air conditioning, and everybody eat. And by the time we leave to go to the car to the hotel, everybody fed, and I ain't got to stop by the McDonald's to get nothing but well, I ain't going to the McDonald's, but I go to the Wendy's, you get a Frosty and some fries and call it a night. I might do that, because there's that value, Mike. There's that value of I'm comfortable. As a man, my family's fed, so I've taken care of everything. Like, my wife's in air condition, so she's happy. Like, so I think all that does definitely come into play. And then especially when we start talking about your senior rattlers, if my parents are with me, my parents are inside. They're not in the hot. They didn't have to try to crawl up and down the stadium. Like it's some of that additional comfort and that additional peace of mind that comes with those kind of features. And you see it even when you go to Ben Hill Griffin, you go to FSU. They've added the grab and go models to where you walk in, you grab what you want, you pay for it, you sit down. And it's just stuff like that to keep modernizing. We definitely got to step up and we got to catch up. So, and we have to find a way to get the younger demographic involved because they're not going to organically just come outside the box. You got to make it appealing, got to make it exciting, something they want to go to. And if it's something that them and their friends start going to, all of a sudden, it's something that they'll come back to. So, but I told y'all just a little bit of good trouble, not a lot, so we're going to see. I would say, I would hope, knowing how hard it is to get people to donate money, especially in this time, in this economic climate, $10K may not be a lot, but it's hard to get people to donate right now. I'll leave that there. So hopefully there's a reconsideration if there can be. And honestly, if somebody can fill in the gap, go fill it in. So gonna be interesting though. I'll be busy on Sunday and Thursday. So we're gonna wrap up the season next Thursday, not next, next Thursday. So we're gonna do our regular scheduled time. But I'm gonna be heading to Mike's neck of the woods. So I'll definitely right before I do my test, having a little time to just woosah and calm down because I've been working. So but we're definitely gonna get some stuff doing. And 5K Rattlers, 1,000, 5 million a year. That can more than cover the debt service. I love it. I'll be honest, Mike. I don't know if we have it, but I would love if we were bold enough to do like a bond program. I'm seeing that's what our counterparts are doing, right? That's what's working when I look at USF, FSU, UCF. You're seeing a lot of these schools are getting bond programs and they're looking at getting some naming rights. I told y'all I'm attached to it being called Bragg Stadium, but you can't tell me you can't sell off the stadium gates. Like, okay, you're not giving 10K to the boosters. They don't want your money. Great. You know what? Marva, get that 10K. Because you got 4 gates at the Bragg Stadium. 10K per gate, that's 40K. It should be worth more than that. I'm just throwing that out there because the 10K is the number in front of me. I would love it to be 100. I would love 100K per gate. Mission Barbecue have 1 gate because y'all stay right there and serve the same food every week. Piggly Wiggly, McDonald's, Spectrum. That's almost $500,000 right there. I'm just saying, and it's not stuff that's never been done before. We've seen teams like the Cleveland Browns sell off their stadium gates and keep the stadium name the same. So that way, when people are coming in, it's a go to the McDonald's gate, go to the Burger King gate, go to the Wendy's gate, go to the Dunkin' gate. I don't care what you call it, but it's a meeting place, and it also allows you to preserve the history of your stadium for those that are so concerned about, hey, we're going to lose the name Bragg Stadium. You get to preserve that. Do it with the press box. Like, we can't sell off the press box, the Taco Bell press box. I'm just saying, like, you don't have to sell the naming rights of your stadiums if you're concerned about losing that, but you can definitely find ways to make money in different ways. So we'll see about how this works, man. It's gonna be interesting. All right, y'all. So we're gonna take a week off. We're gonna finish with the Big Florida Classic. It's gonna be here in the City Beautiful, and don't forget, Mike's got that deal over there with the Rays to go see the game. I'm telling you, if you haven't been to a Rays game, the prices aren't normally crazy, but the hat deal by itself is like $60. So it's like $65 just to get the hat. and the ticket for the game. Might give you something and food for an extra. You finishing up on the hat part, but you getting food the whole baseball game for like $80. I'm telling you right now, that's one of the best deals that's out there. I don't know if you're gonna be able to beat it. Just looking out, go check out Mike. But for everybody, HBCU Digital, man, I told y'all lunch special gotta be in an hour. I gotta get you back on that man or that lady's job before they start looking at you funny and start looking at you froggy. We're gonna finish up with the Big Florida Classic next Thursday. Not next Thursday, sorry. It's gonna be that Sunday. I forgot. I gotta test that Thursday. So we'll see. It might be that Thursday. But anyways, all right, y'all. For everybody, HBCU Digital Network, y'all already know what it is and what it's always gonna be. Fangs up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal.
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!